Hello, my friends. Today we're learning over Bastra Daf Gimel. We're going to start at the top line. So, in the Daf base, we discussed if Hezek Kriya Shmei Hezek or no Shmei Hezek, and we decided that the Mishnah is saying that Hezek Kriya Lo Shmei Hezek. Now we're going to say the opposite. Says the Gemara, Lishnachuna, another way of learning it. Amrilo, they said, Savru, at the beginning they thought, my Mechitza. What does mechitza when it says ashutfim shurot lasos mechitza? What does that mean? Plukta, they decided to split up. They had a chotza that belonged to both of them in full, and they decided to say, this is your part and that's my part. And where do we see that? Dichsiv, like it says in the pasuk, dichsiv, but he mechtzas aido, as we learned yesterday, that it means mechtzas means half. So mechitza also means to split. The cave and the Rotsu, since they want to split up the half, they are forced to build the wall. Why is that? Alma, we could see Hezek Kriya Shmei Hezek. That day you're looking into my chotza, and my neighbor looking into my chotza is called a Hezek, and therefore I could force him to build a wall with me that I should look into his chotza and he should look into my chotza. Said the Gemara, Ve'ema, maybe my mechitza good, maybe a mechitza means a wall. Kedetnan, like we learned, I'm going with the Bach. Mechitza sakarim shenifrit. So we explained this yesterday. Oimeloi gedoy nifrit. So oimeloi gedoy nisyai shemeno. Veloi gotrari the kiddush lachai b'achayu. So we said it's all about kilayim. We could see in this Mishnah that mechitza means the wall. So when we learn ashut from shorot lasos mechitza, mean they want to do a wall. The time of the Rotsu, the whole reason that they're building a wall is because they want to build a wall. Holoi Rotsu, or they didn't want to build a wall. So you can't force them to build a wall. Alma, what do we see from here? Hezek Kriya, Lav Shmei Hezek. We can see that it's not Hezek because you can't force them to build a wall. Says the Gemara on that. So Boinim Misakoiso. It says Ashutfim Shurot Lasis Mechitza, and Mechitza means a wall. It doesn't make sense to say boinim is a koisel, boinim oisem boile. Should say they build it. What we're talking about is agree to build a wall, so you build it. Why are you saying build the wall? We know we're talking about a wall. Okay, Elamite plukta, you're gonna tell me means mechitza means to split. Yochi shurotzu laso is mechitza. The lotion of that they want to do a mechitza shurotzu laso is boile. Should say they wanted to split, not that they want to do a mechitza. Mechitza doesn't sound like splitting. On that big more answers, this is last on that base we never answered this kasha, and we went with the other shit that it means mechitza, and mechitza means a wall. Now we're gonna answer this pshat that means a plukta. Like people say, let's go do a splitting up. So we could see that people use such a lotion of ashutfim shurot lasis mechitza, like in Aramaic, tornabit plukta, and it's not a funny lotion. So the Gemara, if you're going to tell me this pshat, I mean the shuttim that they want to split up, they have to do a wall. Why did it say if they want to, even if they didn't want, they have to build this wall? And you could say the Gemara, Omar Abasi, Omar Rabbi Yochanan, Mishnah saying now, Mishnah talking about she'ein bo din chalukah. That if you have a chotzer that belongs half to him and half to him, so you could force him to build a wall. But here the chotzer belongs to both of them, and you can't force him to split up because there's no daled amis for each one. It's a small chotzer. Therefore, we'll do ratzu. And that's why you need them to want to split up. And once they want to split up, you need to build a wall because Hezek Kriya Shmei Hezek. Says the Gemara, Maiko Mashmalon. What's the chiddush of a Mishnah? The chiles bedin chalukah kirotzu pligi. You want to tell me the chiddush of the Mishnah is that even though that there's less than 4 amas each, you could split up the chotza if they want to. Tanina, we learned it in the next Mishnah. Amosai, when less than 8 amas in total, you can't force them to split. If not both of them want to split. If they both want to split up the wall, split up the chotza, even if there's less than 4 amas for each person after you split up, you could split up. So what's the chiddush of our Mishnah b'chlal? So the Gemara, also, if you'd only have the Mishnah later on Daf Yud Aleph, I might have thought afilu poches mikan. Over there it says that if it's less than 8 amas in total, so you can't force him to split. And if he wants to split, if he agrees to split, he could split it. But it doesn't say how do you split it. He might have thought they just put a string or these pieces of wood in the ground to say where Reuven's part is and where Shimon's part is, but not the whole wall to block him seeing into each other. The chiddush over here about Mishnah Koisel. That you have to build a wall not only to show where the property ends. If so, tell us only our Mishnah and don't tell us the next Mishnah. From our Mishnah we'll learn already the din that if it's less than the chalukah, if they want to split, you have to build a wall, and you know that they could split, and you know that you have to build a wall. What do we need the next Mishnah to tell me that less than daled amas for each one, you could still split? So the Gemara says it's shruchele. Enochinami, the beginning of next Mishnah is not needed, but you need the continuation of the Mishnah over there. That it says over there, v'kisvei hakodesh, if two people own a Sefer Torah or nach, even if they both want to split, you don't let them split because you're going to have to tear the Tanakh into two. Because it comes like those days the Sforim like was Sefer Torah, so we don't want them to split it up and cut it into two. So that's the chiddush. Enochinami, the ratio over there is no chiddush. Now we're going to skip these brackets, like normally in the Gemara we don't learn the round brackets. Said the Gemara, b'mayu kimta. What did he explain the Mishnah? Lemasnis in our Mishnah, b'she'en bodin chalukah, where it's less than 4 ames for each one after you split up. If that's the case, so what that they wanted to split? So we're saying Pshat in the Mishnah they wanted to split, and therefore you could force them to build a wall. So what that they wanted to split? Nahadrubahu, he should change his mind. I wanted to split, I don't want to split anymore. Omar Avasi, Omar Rabbi Yochanan, it's Toma Shekonu miyodon, when they did a kinyan to split up. Says the Gemara, if you did a kinyan, let's say kinyan suda might have it. So what? Kinyan dvarim be'almahu. It's only a schaigus of words. There's no normally a kinyan. You do a kinyan that this item should belong to you, but here it wasn't the item. It was just an agreement to split up. I changed my mind. I don't want to split up anymore. So what I did a kinyan? So the Gemara, it's talking about b'shekonu miyodon beruchoitz. It's talking about where they actually agreed that this half Mizrach is yours, Ma'ariv is mine, and let's do a kinyan in it. So once you did a kinyan, it's chalon, it's something physical. Rav Ashi Omar, another teretz, kigoyin she'olach zeh b'toich sheloi v'hichzik v'zeh b'toich sheloi v'hichzik. It's talking about where they did a kinyan by itself without agreeing where, and then afterwards each one did a chazokah in his half. So already there was a kinyan, so it's too late to change your mind about the chalukah. So now one of them could force the other one to build a wall, even if he doesn't want to, because now it's split up already. You can't change your mind. And hezek riyah shmei hezek, so please build a wall. Mokom shenagu livnois, it says different types of materials. So the Gemara is going to explain exactly which materials is what. Gvil, says the Gemara, is avni deloi meshafia. It's stones that are not smoothing at the sides. It's moving at the top and the bottom to lay nice one on top of each other, but at the sides it's not. If anyone's been to Yerushalayim, and I hope you've all been, there's Eben Yerushalmi, and there's two types, one that's smooth and it's like flat, and one that sticks out. So Gvil is a type of rock that's not smoothing, and that's why it's extra wide. Gozis is Avnei de Meshafia. It's the same type of stones, but it's flat also, it's moving also on the sides, and that's why it's less thick. And I'll bring you a Aryeh from a pasuk. It says about the Beis Hamikdash Arishon, Kol Eilu Eila Avonim Yakrois, expensive stones. Kemido is Gozis, and it says Gozis. And later on in the pasuk, it says in Melachim, Migororois B'Magerim Bais Umechut, that is moving all the way around. Says the Gemara, Kfisim. What does Kfisim means? Aryeh. Aryeh is a levena. So you have a rock that you get from a quarry, and you have a levena that you make from a mixture of mud and clay and straw and other things. It's still today people do it, but back in the day, or if you go to Peru, you'll see that that's the way that people build earth bricks. So kfisin is half. That's a levena. Kfisin is half an earth brick, and in between you put a tefach of cement. Levanim is livni, is the earth brick. Omale Rabba, Breder over Leravashi, Mimaidik vil Avne Deloy Meshafia. How do we know that it means stones are not moving at the sides? By Tefach Yisera, and that's why it's a Tefach moving Gozis Lemorsho, the Karnato, because it sticks out, because it's not moving on the sides. Dilma, maybe Palga the Gozis, who maybe Gvil is half of a rock that's moving. So why the extra tefach? We see in the Mishnah that it's an extra tefach wide. By tefach yisera lebeini urbi. It's because you put them two together and you put them a tefach of cement. Lebeini urbi mihu. Kedek kamrin, and like we said, that kfisin is archi, is half bricks, and lebenim is livni, and lebenim is bricks. Right, tefach yisera, and the reason why by kfisin is the extra tefach than the bricks is because lebeini urbi, because the cement in between the two pieces. Omalei, so he answered to him, uletameich, kfisin archi minolon. How do we know that kfisin means half bricks? El Gemara Gmirlo, the Gemara knows. Gvilnami avne delo meshafia, Gemara Gmirlo. That also the Gemara knows that's what he means. Ikadarmi was the opposite. Omalei Rav Acha Breder of Avyel Rabashi, Mimaidai Kfisin. How do we know that Kfisin is Archininu is half a brick? Vai tefach yisera, and the reason why you have an extra tefach lebeini urbana for the cement in between. Dilma Kfisin, maybe what does Kfisin mean? Avne deloi meshafia, and it means bricks, normal bricks that they're not smoothing on the side and they thicker in half a tefach on each side, and that's why a tefach wider. Vai tefach yisera, the Mursha de Karmata, as I just explained. Kid Kamrin, and like we said, that Gvil is Avne Deloy Meshafia. That Gvil is exactly like Gozis, but just not smoothing on the sides. Gozis Avne de Meshafia, and by Tefach Yisera, Lemersha de Karnata. So, like we see over there, when it's an extra tefach, the same type of stone, just it has the stomach coming out. So maybe also Kfitzin is also just a leveno of a stomach. Omalei, so he told him, Letamech. The way you are learning, Gvil Avne Deloy Meshafi Minolan. How do you know that Gvil means a stone that has a stomach? How do you know that? Maybe it means a whole total different thing. And the Gemara Gmirlo, the Gemara knows. Ochinami Gemara Gmirlo. So also this Kfisin, the Gemara knows that it means a half a brick with a tefach of cement in between. Amar Abaye, Shema Mino, we can see from our Mishnah, Kol Beini Urbani. When you put two bricks together, two half bricks together, and you put cement in between, the amount of cement you need tefach. Since it's an extra tefach, it must be for the cement. So we can see you need to put a cement a tefach. And Afkamina is it Reuven tells Shimon, I'll build you a brick wall, and he builds a brick wall and he puts less than a tefach of cement in between the two half bricks. Shimon could tell him what's going on. You didn't put the tefach. The normal thing is to put the tefach. Says the Gemara, animili, and that's talking about betina. When the Rabbeinu Gershon explains a brick that's made out of something that's very sticky and connected well. So then you need a tefach. Aval berichsa, when you have a brick that's a soft brick that's not very strong, you need more than a tefach of cement. Some people say no. Animili, the Mishnah is talking about berichsa, the soft brick. And there you need a tefach. Aval betina, when it's a stronger brick, you don't need so much, it's enough. It's enough to have less than a tefach of cement. Said the Gemara, Lemeimer the begozis, let's see the back. The begozis call, it takes off the letter dalet. Lemeimer the begozis call dalet amos goyva abe put yechamisha. We're saying in Gozis it says, we said it's 5 tefachim wide, and in the next Mishnah we're going to learn in the continuation of the parak that the height that you need to build is 4 amas. So the Gemara understands that for 4 amas you need 5 tefachim wide. Therefore, if you have 8 amas, you need 10 tefachim wide. So says the Gemara again. Remember, you want to tell me that because it's called daled amas, every 4 amas high, if the width is 5, koyu will stand. Iloi, if not, loi koyu won't stand. Well, Amor Tarikasim, the Amor in the Beis Hamikdash between Kodesh HaKadoshim and the Kodesh and the Heichol, the Havik of Voya Tolzin Amor, so that was 30 amas high, this wall, Veloy Ave Putya Elashis, and the thickness of it is only 6. And if you have a cheshbon, it needs to be much, much thicker than 6. V'lo have it puti ele shish pushchi. We come and it stood, and we know the Beis Hamikdash lasted for many years. And that the Gemara answers, Kevin the Ika Tefach Yisera. So since the Beis Hamikdash has a one tefach wider, it was 6 tefachim, only 5 koi. It lasted. That means the cheshbon you did is not right. Not every 4 amas you have to add another 5 tefachim in width. That's not true. If you have only 1 tefach extra, it could go up to 30 amas. Said the Gemara, "B'mikdash sheni, Beis Hamikdash hasheni, my time eloi obid amotar kasim." Why did they not build a wall? In the second Beis Hamikdash was 100 amas high, and they put a curtain instead. Why didn't they do amma wide and build a very high wall? So the Gemara, Kikoi, when did it stand with 6 tefachim wide? Betoltin koi, could stand up to 30 amas. Tfei, more than that, loi koi, it won't stand, it will fall down. So the Gemara, how do you know that in Beis Hamikdash hasheni the wall was higher? So the Gemara, it says in the Pasuk, Godol iek void abayis hazayachon minarishan, will be bigger covered in the Beis Hamikdash hasheni than Beis Hamikdash harishon. And Rabbi Shmuel have argued about it. For Amrilon, some people say the argument is between Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Loza. Chadoma, what's more covered in the Beis Hamikdash hasheni bebinyan? That's higher walls. Chadoma gimel omud beis v'shonim. That's lasted longer. The Beis Hamikdash hasheni lasted longer in 10 years. And says Gemara, V'Yisrael, they're both right. Both points are right. There was also higher walls and also lasted longer. Says Gemara, okay, so Gemara continues to ask questions. Okay, you say if you have 6 tefachim wide, you could only make a wall of 30. Okay, so make a wall of 30. V'idoch, and the other 70 amas, Nabik Bereches, make a curtain. Says Gemara, Kikoi toltin amoso, when can a 6 tefachim wall go at the height of 30 amo? That's only nami agav tikro maziva, only if at the top of the ceiling to hold it, to put it in place and plaster. Then have a koi below tikro maziva, when it's just without a roof and a curtain, lo have a koi, it won't stand. And the ceiling is only 100 amas high, and the wall will only get 30 amas, and from there curtain, nothing's going to hold it in place, so therefore it won't stand. Says the Gemara, why did they have a curtain all the way the whole 100 amas? Why didn't they do as much as they could the wall, and the rest to do a pereiches? So now, Abaye, Gemiri, they had the Loch al Moshe Messinai, Ikulu Bibinin, the walls in Beis Hamikdash could all be on a wall, Ikulu Bipareches, or all a curtain like a Pareches. And how did they know that? Ikulu Bibinin, everything has to be a wall in Mikdash, like in the Beis Hamikdash Harishon, there was all a wall. Ikulu Bipareches Mishkan, because we see in the Mishkan it was all a Pareches, but we never find nowhere else that in the Beis Hamikdash or in the Mishkan that they had half a wall and half a pareiches, and therefore, since they couldn't do such a high wall, they had to do the whole thing a curtain. And once you say this chiddush, so the other kashas, so we before answered that. And Tosis Omar Abaye, he could see in the cheshbon, it comes out, we don't have to come to the other teretz. Tzedek Mori, Boilahu. We had the Shaila, Bnei Yeshiva had the Shaila. When it said in the Mishnah that this Gozis is 6 tefachim wide, Gvil is 5, etc. It's talking about Hein Besidon, it's talking about the wall together with the plaster that you put on the outside, or didn't Hein Beloy Sidon, or just the wall without the plaster on the outside. Omar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Mistaper, the svara is Hein Besidon. It means the wall together with the plaster. If you want to tell me, it means only the wall, and on top of that you have to put plaster that takes extra. Lisnei l'shira. Why didn't the Mishnah tell you that each one has to give that extra part, however much space it takes? Therefore, the svara tells you Hein Besidon. It must be the wall. When the Mishnah tells you the shirim, it's the wall together with the plaster on them. So the Gemara, that's not Aryeh. I'll tell you, the shirim in the Mishnah is without the plaster. And I'll tell you why the Mishnah doesn't tell you the shir. Since the sid, the plaster, is not thick enough as a tefach, doesn't bother telling you it's such a small amount. Says the Gemara, that's so. It says in the Mishnah, Begozis, the Bachas Goris, then noisent for Chaim Mechza, then noisent for Chaim Mechza. So we can see we do talk about less than a tefach. So why don't we talk also about less of a tefach of the sid? So the Gemara, no, that's not kasha. Hosam chosilitz turufe, because half a tefach of Reuven and half a tefach of Shimon, the neighbors, is together a tefach. That's why the Mishnah bothers to tell you. But sid, that the whole thing is only half a tefach, or less than a tefach, so we don't bother telling you about it. But really, it could be the Mishnah talking about shurim without the sid. Toshma bring your Aryeh. It says Akoira she'omru. It's talking about a beam in a movui. It's a din of Shabbos. What type of korah do you need in a movui? Rechova wide enough kedei lekabel Aryeh, to accept the brick on it. V'Aryeh, what's the size of a Aryeh? Chet leveina. It's half a leveina, half a brick. Shel gimel tfachim of leveina of gimel tfachim. So we could see clearly that the leveina is 3 tfachim, and now Mishnah says the leveina is also 3 tfachim. And over there, it's not talking about with the cement on it. So we could see that when the Mishnah says 3 tfachim, is without the cement on the outside. I mean, without the plaster. So we have a raya that the Mishnah's shurim without the plaster. So the Gemara, no, Hossam berav. Over there, it's talking about a big leveina, that's 3 tfachim without plaster. And here in the Mishnah, it's talking about a bit of a smaller leveina, and only with the plaster, 3 tfachim. I'll bring you a raya, diktoni, it says over there, shashloish tfachim. And what type of a leveina of 3 tfachim? We could see from there, the ikadukto, that the leveina that's smaller. Shmami no. So we could see that there's 2 different sizes of a leveina, and our Mishnah is talking about a leveina of less than 3 tfachim, and it's 3 tfachim together with the plaster. Omar Rav Chizda, lo lister inush beiknista, a person shouldn't demolish a shul until he first builds his new shul, and only afterwards demolish the old shul. Why is that? There's 2 explanations. Some people say mishum shiusa, because he might not build it at the end. Mishum tzilui, they should have where to daven. My benai, what's the difference? What's the svara? Why you shouldn't do it? In a place where he has another shul to daven meanwhile, so there's no problem with that problem, so he could demolish it and then build it. But if the reason is because pshusa, so we still choishes for pshusa. They used to have a shul for the summer that had big windows and very good for air, and in the winter with small windows and thick walls to keep the warmth in. So Marimah of Zitra, Satru Bono, they'd break and build Beikaita Sitva, the summer shul. If they had to fix it, they'd break it in the winter, the summer shul, because they're not using it, they're using the winter shul in the winter, and then they'd rebuild it. And they'd break and build Beisitva, the winter shul, Beikaita, when they're davening in the summer shul. Omale Ravina Ravashi, what's the din if Gobizuzu Machtimai? What's the din if they collected already a money for a new shul? Can you demolish it and only then build the shul? Because l'chor we know choishes for pshu, so the money's already there. Omalei, no, you can't. Why not? Dilma misramilu pidyon shvuim. Maybe there'll be a mitzvah of pidyon shvuim, and whenever we learn in the Gemara pidyon shvuim nowadays, you straight away think of the people in Gaza who are shavui, and it's so sad how we see how all generations we had shvuim going on, and we obviously daven to Hashem that He'll redeem these shvuim and take them out very, very quick, without no heavy payment to pay. So back to the Gemara, told him, even if they have money to buy a new shul, maybe they'll have a pidyon shvuim and they'll give all the money for pidyon shvuim, and they will have money to build a shul and they won't build a new shul. So Dilma Misramilu pidyon shvuim v'yavilu. So he asked him, what's the din of Shrigi Livni? Shrigi Livni, they have ready the bricks already in a pile to build the new shul. And they have the beams for the wall, for the ceiling, the roof, and all the beams they need for the building. So it's not they don't have cash, they have everything ready. What, they're going to give that to pidyon shvuim? So in such a case, he allowed to first demolish and then build? Or Malay? No. Even in such a case, they need to do a mitzvah of pidyon shurim. Mezabni, they'll sell all these bricks and the roof and the beams, and they'll give it to him for pidyon shurim, and then they won't build a new shul. Said the Gemara, Yochi, if we have to be choishes so far-fetched, how if you build a new shul, you said you're allowed to demolish the old shul. How are you allowed to demolish the old shul? Maybe they'll sell the new shul because it'll have to be poidish shvuim and they won't have a shul, so we should keep the old shul existing. Or Malay, dirose di'ini shloim izabni. A house that a person lives in, he won't sell. And therefore, a shul that they're davening in, they won't sell for pidyon shvuim. And says it more, more. Therefore, we said they're not allowed to demolish it before you build a new shul. They wasn't falling apart. If it's going to fall and the old shul, Satri, you're allowed to break it to Boni and to build a new shul. Like the case of Ravashi, he saw the shul was falling down, Beknishta in the shul, the Mosa Maxia of the city called Maxia. Satri, he broke it. He put his bed in the shul that he should make sure that this shul will be rebuilt. And he didn't take his bed out until he finished the whole shul, and he even put the gutters onto the shul, and only then he moved out to make sure that he's finishing the shul and there won't be no pshusa. Says the Gemara, Ubaba ben Buta, how did he give an eitzah to the king Hurdus? To break down the Mikdash, and only afterwards to build the Beis Hamikdash again. You're not allowed to do it. We said you're not allowed to break until you build the new one. Rav Chizda just said, break a shul at the Bonik. First he has to build a new one and then break the old one. Said the Gemara, one teretz says that in the Beis Hamikdash was going to fall, and therefore he was allowed to do it, like we said. Another teretz, Malchus Hashayni, the kingdom is different than Hurdus was a king. That once they decide something, they won't change their mind and they won't be Pesher. Shmuel said, if the king says they're going to demolish a mountain, they'll go and do it and they won't regret it. Basically, Shmuel said that the king, once he decides something, he does it. So therefore, by a king, we don't have a chashash that they won't build the Beis Hamikdash again, and therefore they were allowed to demolish it and only afterwards build it. Now the next Gemara is a whole story about Hurdus, about building the Beis Hamikdash, and his whole long story, so it's a whole sugya in itself, so we're going to stop here. Thank you very much, and we should pray that we should remember these Gemaras. We should know if Hezek or Shmei Hezek, if it's about a house, if it's a Gimel, if it's a Chotza, if it's a Gag and a Chotza, and we should remember these Gemaras, and we should be zoich all for Pidyon Shvuim, that all the hostages and the bodies in Gaza and everywhere, there's a woman in Iraq, a Jewish woman, they should all be redeemed and come back very, very soon. The Ezra Hashem is Barach. Thank you very much.